Alright guys, what we're going to do today is to work on frame-by-frame animation of a cartoon character walking across the screen. Now we're not going to draw the cartoon character. Cartoon character is an old cartoon character named Poop Deck Peppy, I believe, from Popeye. It's going to look like this. This is our dude who we're going to be animating. He's going to be in black and white because the frames of animation are taken from an old black and white cartoon. Here's a little bit of trivia. Popeye actually came from a comic strip about Olive Oyl. She was the hero of the comic strip, and Popeye was introduced as a minor character. And then, of course, he got super popular. And anyways, let's go and look at which one we are going to do. We are going to do cartoon walking animation. Now there's a zip file in here that we're going to have to extract in order to use the frames. And of course we have the document here as well. Let's open up the document. Let's extract the zip file. Alright, so down in my downloads directory, that's where I put my zip file. There is a file called Happy. If we look in there, there's a whole bunch of pictures. There's 24 of them, in fact. Motion pictures project at 24 frames per second, whereas television projects at 30 frames per second. So video is actually a little bit smoother than motion picture animation, or live motion picture, which is why when video is inserted into a motion picture movie, it actually looks kind of strange if it was shot with a video camera rather than a movie camera. And so they have to do some clever tricks to movies in order to get them to display 30 frames a second on TV without playing faster. So each one of these frames is a different picture of him walking, right? Called walk cycle. We're going to need all those frames. We're going to wind up importing them into the library. I'm not going to copy and paste them. That would take forever, right? Or at least it'd take a while because there's 24 of those things. Let's go look at our instructions. Walking animation. We're going to make a new action script 3 file. Let's save it and call it Pappy Walks. Download the file and extract it and import the contents into your library. Choose File, Import. Import to library, open the Pappy folder, highlight all 24 files, and choose Open. We can do that. Let's do that right now. Going in Animate, File, New. Doesn't matter what size it is. I'm going to choose Standard. It says frame rate 30. I'm going to lower that to 24 so that it looks like it did in the old days. What do I mean by that? They're supposed to play at 24 frames per second. Alright, I don't like the way the layout is. I guess I can live with it. Let's see. I think I have it set for Essentials Classic. If I click on the stage, I can go over here and tell it to go at 24 frames per second, which is what I want. So I just clicked on the stage, chose Properties, changed that to 24 frames per second. Again, I waffle against which one of these looks best in video. The white background, the darker background. I'm going to choose Preference, Edit Preferences. On the PC users, it's tucked away under the Edit menu. Right, and I can go in and I can choose dark. I don't know if that's better or not. Man, the timeline is so faint when I do that. That's the only thing I don't like about it. Alright, let's import those files into the library. I've extracted my zip contents into a folder, and now I can do Import to Library. Go and find it. Happy. I could do them one at a time. That would take forever. If you hit Control A or Command A on a Mac, if I hit Control A, it selects them all. Much faster. Or you could select the first one, scroll down to the bottom one, shift click to select them all. However you like to select them all, do it that way. Make sure that we chose import to library. I sure hope I did, because I don't want them all to show up in the stage. If I go click on library, there they are. Alright, now for this to work, I need to actually create a movie clip symbol. If you do this on the main stage, which is a mistake that a lot of students make, especially when I'm teaching it in class, because I don't emphasize it enough, if you put it on the main stage, then it's not going to be very cool, because we can't get 2 or 3 or 4 Pappies running across the stage at the same time. So, we need to do Insert, New Symbol, and choose Movie Clip. Make it a movie clip. Okay, I'm doing this differently than I'm going to follow my instructions. How about that? I'm going to cancel what I just did. What my instructions say is to drag out the first frame and then convert that to a movie clip. Same thing, really. Drag it out onto the screen, onto the stage, right-click on him, and choose Convert to Symbol. What kind of symbol? A movie clip. What are we going to call him? Walking Pappy or something like that. Pappy walking. Alright, now I need to be editing that symbol from now on. Not on the main stage, I need to be actually in the symbol itself. 2 ways I can do that. One is I could just double click the little gears over here in the library. Now I'm editing the symbol. How do I know that? It says Pappy walking, and then the arrow will get me back to the main stage. Or you just double click on them. Now I'm editing Pappy walking and not the main stage. And that's what I want. Alright, one thing you're going to have to be careful about is to not accidentally move him. If we accidentally move him while we're editing these frames, then he's going to kind of jiggle and jump up and down while we walk. So try not to move him. It's interesting that when we did that, the crosshairs lined up with the corner. That's just an observation that I noticed. I'd never noticed that before. Alright. Now we need, okay, we've done this. Right click, convert to a symbol. See, I even warn ourselves, don't skip this step. You didn't skip it, did you? Just checking, lots of people do. Alright, double click on the gear symbol for Pappy walking to edit the movie clip. We've done that. And select frames 2 through 24 using the Shift key to select multiple frames. Right click and choose Convert to Keyframes. Okay, what does that mean? I need to pick 24 of these frames and turn them into keyframes. Now sure, I could do it one at a time. I could click on frame 2, insert keyframe, 3, insert keyframe. If you feel like doing it that way, that's great. Here's a thing that lets me zoom in and zoom out of the it's got the mountains at the bottom. Why don't I see that? Well, okay, fine, I don't see it. And this is faint. Anyways, I'm going to click on frame 2. I'm going to shift click on frame 24. That highlights the entire row of them up to 24 because I use shift. And I'm going to right click and do convert to keyframes. Why are we going to do that? Because each frame is going to hold a different picture, different drawing. The first one holds walk cycle 1. Get the second one going. I'm going to choose frame 2. It's really bugging me that I don't have the ability. Maybe it's because my screen is smaller than... Sorry for messing with this. There it is. Alright, cool. Okay, drag that over to the mountain. Now I've got more frames to play with. I've just set my screen at a small resolution so that it'll fit into the video better, so it'll look better on YouTube. Okay, frame 2. Right click on him. Do swap bitmap and choose walk cycle 2. Do the same thing for 3. Select him, right click on him, convert to symbol. I did not mean to choose convert to symbol. Cancel that. Right click on him, swap bitmap, walk cycle 3 because it's on frame 3, right? And just keep doing that. Right click, or click, right click, swap symbol, 4. Do that all the way through. I'm not going to even talk my way through it anymore. Kind of tedious. I wish there was a command key shortcut that would shorten this process. Sometimes I lose track of which one I'm on. I have to kind of look up here and count them over. If you miss one, it's just going to make the guy look a little bit jerky as he walks because the frame will be wrong. I mean, I could do that on purpose just to illustrate, but I don't think I will. All right, I got 24 of them. I've done 10. I'll race you to the end. I'm going to drag the playback head. All right, kind of looks like he's walking. And you can see that after a certain point it hangs and it just gets back to normal, right? Okay, so anyways, 12, 13, 14. I think I made a mistake here. Make sure that that really is frame 15. Let me make sure. Yeah, there was something wrong with that. That this really is frame 14. You'll be able to tell when you play it. Then it's kind of fun to figure out which one's wrong. Two more to go. And my cat is yowling. Just a second. Nope. Alrighty, looks like we're done. So if I go back to my main scene, right, if I click on that, go back to my main scene. Here I am on my main scene. I'm going to test it by hitting Command Return, Control Enter, however you play it. There he is, he's walking. That's pretty cool. Imagine that. Imagine how they had to do that in the old days, drawing each individual frame. Now if we wanted to, we could make him move across the screen, couldn't we? We know how to make things move. We could drag him. Now remember, I'm editing scene 1 now. I'm not actually editing the movie clip. So back on scene 1, I can move him to one side. I could insert a keyframe somewhere over here. How many seconds do I want him to take to cross the screen? How about 2 seconds to cross the screen? So I'm going to set one at 48. Right click, insert keyframe. move him to the other side of the screen, create a classic tween, and now when I control enter, command return, there he goes. Now as I look at his feet, his foot is kind of sliding, right? Can you see that? Kind of like he's ice skating or something like that. Maybe if I made it 3 seconds rather than 2, it would look better. Well, how am I going to do that? I'm just going to grab this frame, and I'm just experimenting at this point. And what's 3 times 24? It's 72. So if I click on this final keyframe and drag it over to 72, it's going to take 3 seconds for him to walk. See if that looks better. Yeah, it actually kind of looks okay. There, I like that. We're pretty much done. If we go and look, maybe it has something else in here. Make Pappy walk across the stage. We've done that. All right. So, online you can find the frames of Sonic the Hedgehog running or Mario walking or whatever. You could do the same thing that we did here. Heck, you could do that as a project if you wanted to, right? Make Sonic the Hedgehog run across the screen, or, Mario walking or whatever. That might be kind of fun. So that is how we do the walking animation. Now there's one thing that's not finished, which is what if we dragged another copy of our hero out here? So I'm going to go back to the library, drag Pappy walking out onto the stage. I'm going to do that back at frame 1, right? And I flip him to make him walk the other way, right? Using free transform or some other way of flipping, right? And then I animate him crossing the screen by going out. Whoops. Something weird about that. I forgot to make another layer. My mistake. I need to get rid of him. I need to add a layer. Then I can paste him back, right? And then I can have him walk across the screen going the other way. Maybe he's going to move more quickly. So he's going to run across the screen, in a mere 1 second. That's kind of stupid, but why not? So insert a keyframe on my new one. Make him run across the screen in 1 second. You can already see the problem, right? It's covered up with white. That's not too cool. Create a classic tween. We watch them go, and we saw him cover up the other one. It's interesting now that I watch. It seems to take him a long time to get on there. Well, I guess that's normal. Alright, so I'm going to grab this frame and drag it out to 48 anyways. Anyways, it doesn't look too cool because he's got the white background. So the next assignment is to remove that white background. That's actually a separate set of instructions. That is in a different folder. This being H, I bet it's in folder I. Cartoon animation number 2. And this just tells us how to get rid of the white background. So first let's create a background for Pappy to walk on. Let's not. Let's skip straight ahead. Now we need to edit Pappy to remove the big white block of space around him. This is kind of tedious. So double click on Pappy to edit that movie clip. Select frame 1. From Modify, do Bitmap, Trace Bitmap. Click OK and delete the white background. Alright, let's see if I can remember that. Here we go. I'm going to double click on Pappy, or I'm going to double click on the gear symbol so that I'm editing the movie clip itself. I'm going to right click on him, do Trace Bitmap. I'm going to lower the minimum area down to 1. and I'm going to click OK. Now we see all these dots here. If I choose the black cursor, click off it, click back on, and then hit the delete key, now I see why I wanted to put a background on here, so that I could see where the white had been deleted and where it had not been. What do I mean by that? After I delete this, it looks good, but there's still some white there as well. And if I go and if I add a background to the animation, perhaps that would make that visible. Let's see if that's the case. I'm going to go back to scene 1, add a background layer. Whoops, I accidentally created a folder. I don't want a folder. Make a new layer, make it a background layer. You know what, I could just change the color of the stage, couldn't I? That's the easiest thing to do. Go to my properties. I mean, it would be fun to pick a background. But mostly what I care about right now is I want to see the color of the stage so that I can tell what white parts are still remaining to be deleted. So under properties, if I scroll down, if I click the stage and make sure I'm editing it, I scroll down to document settings and I pick a different color for them. Yeah, looks good to me. Okay, now I need to be editing him again. Double click on him. Now I'm in Pappy walking. And if there was anything white in him, I would need to delete it. Except his beard, right? I'm not going to delete that. Go to frame 2, do the same thing. Right click, trace, OK. Use the white cursor, click off of him, click back on, and backspace delete. He's got a little bit of white here under his armpit. I think I'll leave that alone rather than zoom in the interest of time. Frame 3, right click, trace bitmap, OK. Using a black cursor, click off of him to deselect everything, because otherwise if I just hit delete, he's going to go away. So deselect by clicking on the green background, coming back, clicking, whoops, there's some white there, click that as well. Boom, now we're done. And I'm going to have to do that all the way to frame 24. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. In fact, I could pause it, right? I'll just pause the recording and you can do the same, until you've done it all. Alrighty, so when I sweep playback head, right? I think I saw a slash of white. There we go. I need to get rid of that. Alright, so if I go back to my main scene, click the back arrow or click scene 1, and I play it, right? Maybe I'll make the little one small, the one in the background, the one walking more slowly, smaller. Look at that, he's getting bigger as he goes. That's not really what I want. So I'll make him smaller on this side too. You gonna let me select him? There we go. That was weird. Alright, he's still going fast. I don't want him to be going that fast anymore. So I'm going to grab this, pull this way off here. As a matter of fact, the large one should be the one that's going fast. And it looks like I made the little one walk in front of the big one, which is not what I want, so I'm going to rearrange the order of these, right? Alright. So if I wanted to go and get a real background to put on here, I could do that, right? I could find the some kind of cartoon, black and white cartoon background. I don't know which one I want. That one. going to have a watermark on it, but I don't care. So I just right-clicked on it, copied it, go back into Animate, select layer 3, paste it. Yeah, it looks ugly with all the... And that just looks totally dumb. I'm not digging it. I'm going to take one more attempt at finding one, and then I'm not going to waste our time anymore with that. How about just the trees? How about I look for large ones? It's taking too much time. Usage rights. Labeled for non-commercial reuse with modification. Well, none of this looks any good. Okay, whatever. I'm going to pick something stupid and just go with it. It's so stupid it's even tiny, and it's going to look large when I drag it out. Alright. I'm just going to undo it, leave it as it is. Now the instructions go on and have us do a little bit more to it. We can create a drop shadow under Pappy. What's the drop shadow? I'm actually just going to leave that idea alone. I'm going to leave the drop shadow alone. If you feel like trying to do it, great. But I've already kind of messed it up. Oh, I'll show you what I mean. If we take Pappy here, I should save it before I start messing with it because I'm not going to actually finish it. If we take Pappy here, drag him out, and then we make a copy of him and flip him, right? And then, and again, don't really do it this way. Follow the instructions, but what I'm doing, I'm just giving you a demonstration. You know, maybe a shadow looks kind of like that. Okay, he needs to kind of be transparent, right? Because shadows are transparent. Or we can make it solid black if we wanted to. Now he's already got a little bit of a foot shadow, which is going to make it look kind of dumb. Anyways, I can choose blend, excuse me, filters, plus drop shadow. And then there's some options for it. We want to hide the object itself so that all we see is a drop shadow. Strength 100%, dial that down. Right, and now it's translucent. And so I could have put this separate copy on its own layer and had it walk underneath him as he moved. And it would look like he had a shadow as he moved. I think I'd rather actually do that to a different animation. I think I'm going to leave that idea alone, but I wanted you to see that idea. And you can do it with anything, right? You could add some text. Of course, picking a good color for the text might not be a bad idea. And then you could select that, make a copy of it. To make a copy, I'm just holding the Alt key as I drag it. Flip the copy upside down with free transform. Maybe tilt it or something. Go under filters. Choose drop shadow. Hide object. And lower the strength a little. Notice the drop shadow is kind of blurry. Well, if you didn't want a blurry drop shadow, well, you could fix that down in the filter settings by removing the blur X and the blur Y, right? You could take those down if you wanted to. Maybe it doesn't look so good with it like that. Not letting me change that. There we go. Anyways, there we go. Drop shadowing in a nutshell. Good enough. If I was going to upload this, which I am, I'm going to delete those superfluous things and be done with it. So just go ahead, play it one more time, right? I thought I gave it a name. Happy walking. Guess I never did. Play it one more time. That exports it, and you can give me the FLA and the SWF. Upload those. All right. Hope that was educational. Oh, by the way, since we did 2 assignments at once, just upload your end result into both of them, right? Put it both into H and I.